Hi, everybody. It's July 5th. I can't even remember. We are 2 days away from the new month. How was everyone's June? I'm so curious to hear. You can either speak it or put it in the chat box. For those who did not get to join us at last month's talk, remember that these talks we uploaded onto YouTube, so you can always join us there to look at all the past talks that we have had. And I'm going to reiterate it here again, like I have in the past. It's always a good idea just to kind of go back maybe 3 months, at least a quarter back, re-listening to some of the themes around the month and using that as an opportunity for yourself to reflect, right, as to what's going on, because these talks are about forecasting, right? We're trying to predict and understand and get some insights to what the near future will hold for us. And so, but it's a different, it has a different meaning when we get to look back, right? And so it's a good idea, especially if you're very interested in really learning BaZi, how it impacts you more personally, right? And you want to get to understand how these energies move you, impact you, influence you. And so that's just one of my little tidbits that I'd share with you. But we're finishing the month of the horse. Wow. Talk about the horse month. Remember what I said last month about the horse? The energy of this yang fire is very similar to basically the spacecraft, right? The rocket ship launching into space. And so that takes so much energy just to imagine, the rocket launching up into the sky. And so think about your own personal energy in terms of, what was I launching in my life? Did I feel like I've said yes to the things that I wanted to do, the adventures that I wanted to experience? Did I feel like the horse month gave me the momentum that I needed in order to move forward? Now, again, the impact of fire depends on our individual BaZi charts, right? Because some people's BaZi charts need fire, other people not so much. So if you don't remember what yours are, I think it's a good idea to get a refresh. To understand what are my favorable elements, right? What does fire do to me? Does it suppress and hinder me, or does it actually, launch me forward? Okay, because it impacts everyone very differently. But and do you remember? I also talked about the horse clashes with the rat sign, right? And we talked about lower extremities. And remember, we looked at a couple of people's BaZi charts that were impacted by the clash, either through automobile accidents where, they have some ailments in the lower half of their body. Maybe they're paralyzed. Maybe they lost the functions of their legs. Remember the clash.
It'll be on YouTube.
Oh, please mute yourself. Remember, the horse and the rat impacts the hips all the way down to our toes. Well, I certainly am closing out the horse month with flying colors, because I myself became the victim of this clash, which was yesterday. I took a nice tumble down the mountain and I would say crash landed pretty hard and impacting the lower parts of my extremity. I had a couple of clients that messaged me in June and said, they had problems with their car, their automobile, right? Their car. So it may not necessarily be their legs per se, but it's related to how they move in this life, right? So if the vehicle is an important instrument for you to move around, for instance, maybe you're a realtor, maybe you need to drive around to commute for work, that's very similar to the impact of our legs, right? So we move around this earth. So that clash has a symbolic, spiritual, literal meaning. And so that's one thing I want you to kind of, take with you the next couple of days and think about how did that impact my life in terms of my mobility, right? Mobility, actual physical mobility, but just also how is the flow of my creativity? You know, do I feel like I'm stuck in certain parts of my life where I really need that fire energy to help me move? Okay, so that's just a little bit of kind of digesting and processing the horse month before we move into the new month. Okay, so here we are. We are in the goat month in a couple of days. This is a yin earth element, the goat. But what's so deceiving about the goat is, you know, a lot of people, they look at pictures of goats and they think, oh, so cute, you know, there's yoga with goats or something. And goats are happy animals, you know, they jump around. But I don't want you to think of the energy of the goat like the animal, okay? That's not the correct way of how we correlate behavior of the goat energy, okay? In fact, the goat is so incredibly powerful that it's deadly, okay? It's deadly, it's massive. The goat, being an earth sign, is actually the strongest earth element. And out of the 12 animals, right? So we have 12 celestial animals, like there's 12 zodiac signs. Out of the 12, 4 of them are earth elements, okay? But out of the 4, which is the strongest, is the goat, okay? So we don't take the goat month very lightly. Remember in BaZi, you know, the way the Chinese calendar works, it always is like this. It's spring, spring, earth, summer, summer, earth, autumn, autumn, earth, winter, winter, earth. You see, that's why there's 4 earth signs. They show up throughout the year. And so every time there's an earth between the seasons, it means it's the beat, you know, it's the transition. It's the pause from one season before we transition into a new season. And in BaZi, anytime there is some kind of a transition, an ending, pushing us to a beginning of anything, that pocket of time is really intense, okay? It's intense. So when we look at the earth, okay, think of it as it's still the summertime, technically speaking, okay, from the Chinese calendar, but it's signaling that the summer energy will soon come to an end. And then we move into the fall season, right, the autumn season. So just imagine all that energy from May and June, you know, all that momentum, projects launching, saying yes to everything, being go-getters to all the things, right? We're kind of running wild and crazy. And then we're getting ready for autumn, okay? That's what's going to be ahead. And the month of August technically is the halfway point for this rabbit year, okay? So we're only coming into the 5th month of the rabbit year, okay? So while we're all panicking, you know, based on the Gregorian calendar, we're like, oh my gosh, half the year is over. From an energetics perspective, we're not quite there yet, okay? So what is earth? Again, in Chinese medicine, we focus from the heart, right? Because last month was about the heart and the shoulders and the eyes, like all up here. Now we're moving to the center part of our body, which is the stomach. And this is huge, you know, this right here, our core, right? We hold everything here. If you've ever done, you know, chakra clearings or, you know, any of that sort, a lot of what we hold in this life really resides right here in the belly, okay? So you can examine your physical belly, okay, to go, how's my belly? You know, how are the inches going on in my belly? You know, what kind of foods am I eating? How am I feeding my belly? You know, what kind of food, but also what kind of words am I feeding my belly? You know, what kind of exchanges and energy am I feeding my belly, right? And from a spiritual perspective, this is home. The belly means home. It's where we belong in this life. We feel confident, we feel grounded. It's the pillar of where we stand in this life. So I like to say that, you know, the month of the goat is all about the stillness, okay? The stillness in the midst of chaos, in the midst of all of the busyness, right? And if we want to use the analogy of the rocket launching last month, think of the goat month as, oh, all those amazing astronauts, they're coming home, right? And just imagine that feeling for a moment, right? Just think of that. The joy, the relief, right? Oh, everybody's home, everybody's safe, mission accomplished, right? So that's some of the things I want you to think about. Am I mission accomplished 2 days out from the goat month? Did I do all the things I set out to do? Was I distracted? Was I flighty? You know, did I have too many things that took priority over what I really needed to focus on? You know, and it's okay. Whatever the result of last month, right? You know that the goat month will at least allow you to come back, okay? To come back, regroup, reset. I love this quote. It says, forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet and the winds long to play with your hair. This is a beautiful reminder for us to reconnect, not just with nature, obviously that's very important, but it's also to reconnect with ourselves, okay? Coming home, this is home right here. It's not your husband, your girlfriend, your children, they're important, very, very important, I'm not downplaying that. But the most important part is here, okay? Am I a true vessel of what I set out to do, you know? Or is my home on fire, you know? Like, or is my home under the ocean? You know, I'm overwhelmed, right? Like the ocean, it's under the ocean. Or am I on fire? I'm full of anxiety and panic, right? So we want to get the house back in order. So again, every month I like to give some words or phrases for you to meditate with or to journal and pray with. But I want you to think of mother, okay? Now, I'm assuming, I'm not making any assumptions about your personal relationship with your mother. If you have a healthy relationship with your mother, certainly you can think of her. But I want you to think of the mother figure that is the epitome of motherhood. You know, what is that like? The mother that is nurturing, present, you know, caring, available, that reassures you, right? The mother that's cleaning the house. I mean, you can get very literal or very imaginative about what this mother figure is. This mother figure can be somebody you know. It can be a deity, right? A god, an inspiration, okay? Whatever that is, I want you to kind of think of that. Or maybe you're thinking of yourself if you are a mother, okay? The energy of the goat promotes us to nurture. It's time to nurture ourselves. You know, this is the whole epitome of self-care. Remember, yin earth means the soil, you know, or the garden. And I've used this analogy many, many times, you know, and I say, how do you care for a garden? Especially if any of you have gardens, you know that there's certain techniques and touches that the garden needs depending on what vegetables or what fruit you're trying to grow, right? Sometimes they need a lot more care, you know, fertilizers and this and that. They're a lot more fussy. And then other times all they need is the sun. You know what I mean? Maybe just a little bit of water and that's it. And so you have to think about, how do I need to get back to caring for my house through nurturing? How am I nurturing myself? Earth is also the full sort of presentation of authenticity. What you see is what you get. Who I am is who I am inside, right? There is full transparency of who I am. And we'll talk a little bit about keeping secrets, okay, here in a second. Authenticity. Are you, your actions, your words, your business dealings, your tasks, everything that you're dreaming about, is it a true reflection of who you are today? Now, again, it's a much deeper question, obviously, if you don't know who you are, then that should trigger something inside you to say, I have some work I need to do. You know, maybe I've been a wife for a very, very long time, or a mother for a very long time. Now we have an empty nest, we're empty nesters. You know, my children are all grown, they have their own family. Then I'll always be mother, but who am I right now? in my relationship with my spouse, and my relationship with myself. And so there's a good practice right now, an invitation this month for you to kind of noodle about that, think about that. Sacred sanctuary. This is talking about your space. Obviously, we'll talk about feng shui, but it's talking about where you feel the safest. Because if I need to ground myself and repair and nurture and feel like I can come home and be authentic, I have to have a place that is safe for me, that is sacred. Okay, so ask yourself, what is that? So a lot of people, for example, they don't have that in their home, like in their actual home. Too busy, too many people, chaos. So they may have to take some time off to go to the ocean or to go to the mountain. That is, okay? So sacred sanctuary, ask yourself, maybe it can just be a little corner in a room that you have your altar and all the things that represents, right, your authentic self. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a big hoopla, but I do want to challenge you and kind of think about, what is my sacred space? Okay, sweet and delightful, because the earth, the taste of earth is sweet. Okay, and I'm not saying like have 12 dozen cupcakes for sweet and delightful, but I want you to, like, you ever go to France and they have the best pastries, okay? But it's like, oh my gosh, how do these French people have all these delicious pastries and no one is fat? Okay, it's like I would be 500 pounds if I lived in France. What is the secret of the French people? It's because they take small bites and they relish in the delight, sweetness of that bite. It's an enjoyable, kind of euphoric, I'm going to use a funny word, orgasmic feeling when they take that one bite. And so I want you to think again, in all the things that you're doing, am I relishing in the sweetness of my tasks and how I care for my children, how I take care of myself, how I'm showing up in my life, in my businesses, right? Is it delightful? If you tell me, Jen, I want to punch everyone in the face right now, that's the opposite of sweet and delightful. And so that is a signal to you that you have work to do there, okay? So these are some things I want you to reflect on. And remember that earth is also about cocooning. It's the time when we come back within. I like to use the analogy of the womb. Moms, carrying babies. It's like, it's a safe place for the baby to grow and to be fed and to be nurtured and to be loved, right? So I want you to imitate that. The womb can be your sacred sanctuary, okay? It's a time now after May and June, all that fire energy going out and up. Now we're trying to like hone it back in, okay? To remember why we're here to begin with. What am I doing? Because maybe this summertime you got too busy and your imagination ran wild and you splattered all over in every direction. Well, the month of July is a beautiful time to kind of hone everything back in and to regroup and reassess, okay? What's interesting about July is there's so many noblemen, like a lot more people get to enjoy noblemen in July. Whereas in June, only a small pocket of people have noblemen, because the month of June, only people who have a yin metal sign in their year or their day, just one, okay? Either you're born in a yin metal year or your day master is yin metal, then the horse is your nobleman. So it's a lot smaller population of people. But now we come into July and we get 3, okay? It's if you were born in the year of yang earth, like this, yang metal, and yang wood, okay? 3. And the goat, and there's another one, I'm not gonna confuse you right now, but the goat offers that to so many more people this year, this month. And, I always like to say, the more you have noblemen, it's because you need it. Have you ever listened to me talk of how rare it is to find people who are born with a lot of noblemen in their 4 pillars? It's very rare, okay? And I've done thousands of charts and I can still count them with 2 hands. How many people are born with like 4 noblemen, which is the most that you can get. Like they're just born that way. And it's because they need it. All right. So sometimes when there's just a plethora and overabundance of angels, it's because they're here standing guard to protect. Okay. To protect, to offer guidance, to be of assistance. Okay. The other thing is if you are born on the day, so this is your day master. Okay. Yang metal, yang wood, yang earth. All right. This is also going to be your Nobleman month. Okay. Got 2 days to get your ducks in a row and really ask yourself, how do I take advantage of my angel month? Okay. What are some things that I put off? What are some things lingering that I need to close out? What new things I'm ready to start? Okay. That's the Nobleman. Okay. We want to talk about clash. All right. If you have ox sign in your year, month, day, or hour, anywhere in your 4 pillars, then you have a clash this month, okay? And clash is not always a bad thing, okay? Even though I give a lot of examples that are scary, because they can be scary, but it's not necessarily always bad. I fell down the mountain because I chose to hike when I had a triple clash. That's my choice. Okay, so now I probably wouldn't have tumbled down the mountain if I did not do that. Okay, so it's a testament of how you choose to respond, to react, to cooperate with that energy. Okay, so if you have a clash, remember, like, don't forget the meaning of clash. Clash means change. Okay, change of plans, change of direction. Okay, things falling apart, things breaking up, you know, old things dying. Maybe things are coming to the surface. You see, like it was always there, but it was hidden and you didn't know. Suddenly the clash comes up and it, bam, it opens up. It's like Pandora's box. Okay, and so a lot of people, they take that as bad luck. They're like, oh my gosh, I found out my business partner was embezzling money. Oh my gosh, I found out so-and-so was cheating with so-and-so. And then you start to think, oh my gosh, this is all bad. It's all bad. But actually, it's a gift because now you know the truth. There's no secrets hidden. So clash also allows things to come to the surface. Okay. This happens a lot too in certain, can you mute your case, whoever this is? I can't see. This is also the case when you go to the doctors. Okay, like if you go to the doctors when you have a clash, all right, like, oh my gosh, I have, you know, high blood pressure. Oh my gosh, I'm borderline diabetic. Okay, so the clash is like, no, pay attention, right? It's no secret. So it's all a matter of shifting our mindset to look at this as an opportunity for us to be different. So if I have high blood pressure and borderline diabetic, well, that's telling me it's time to change my lifestyle, my diet, right? It's change. It's just prompting you to change. Okay. So that's why clash is not always a bad thing. It can be dangerous. Okay. If I chose to, you know, bungee jumping or something like that, I could really hurt myself, okay, on a clash, right? So the clash, okay, of the goat and the ox, and you see that they are both earth signs, okay? Last month and May, the clash was between fire and water, okay? But this month, July, it's about the 2 earth signs fighting. Think of that as like earthquakes, the tectonic plates grinding, right? Big, big clash. So this is talking about the core of our body. And I put the brain here because actually the brain also represents sort of like the control center of the body, right? It handles almost all bodily functions in a human body, okay? Obviously, earth is talking about our digestion, okay? Are we constipated? Like, are we regular? Okay. Am I, is my blood sugar functioning well? Do I tend to have low blood sugar, high blood sugar? Okay. And you may have heard me talk about this too when I talk about Chinese medicine. It's also related to our heart, because a strong heart is a strong belly, because the heart is fire, right? Stomach is earth. And if you know the 5 elements, fire supports earth, okay? So usually when people have stomach issues, like I have acid reflux, okay? That's a stomach issue. Maybe there's something wrong with the heart, okay? Maybe they're angry at something. Maybe nothing wrong anatomically from a cardiovascular perspective, but the spirit or the energy of the fire, something is off. Maybe they have like anxiety. They're always nervous, full of like panic attacks. And so they get acid reflux. See, that's how it's correlated, okay? Or maybe someone who has heart palpitation, okay? That's fire, heart palpitation. But actually this person doesn't trust themselves. That's earth. They don't trust. Remember, trust is the stomach, trust my intuition. I trust my instincts. I'm confident about who I am. I'm confident in this decision, right? So when you lack that, when the earth is weak, you start to feel it here. Suddenly my heart is palpitating. I can't breathe. Maybe my blood pressure is a little bit high. All right. So they're always connected, these two. Really want you to pay attention, okay, to how your body is speaking with you. And so I want you to imagine this month, how are you digesting everything? I'm not just talking about food. How are you digesting conversations with people? Maybe you had a tough conversation with someone, maybe you got some tough news, okay? Maybe something didn't agree with you. Maybe you didn't trust yourself, in a particular circumstance, and it just kind of sat there, in your stomach. You wake up the next day, the next week, you're bloated. Maybe you're constipated. Ooh, my jeans are a little bit tighter. And you start to think, oh, what did I eat? What did I eat? Dietarily speaking. But I want you to go one step further and ask yourself, what kind of energy did I feed my stomach? Okay, so this is really important. Okay, now, because I always bring this up because everyone's different, right? Some people are very healthy and they're very cognizant of their dietary needs, okay? And they're physically active, but maybe they're a little bit off, like spiritually, emotionally, okay? And some people, they have a good handle on their spiritual life, right? But maybe they're eating too many cupcakes, okay? So different scenarios, but it's still the same thing, okay? It shows up the same way. Some tips, okay, to strengthen your earth this month. Try to, in Chinese medicine, we always follow the season. So try to go and pick up foods, particularly fruits, vegetables, and herbs that follow the season. Our food industry is doing a lot of like GMO things. So there's a lot of foods that are available, which they're normally not available in season. So you have to be very careful. We're like, oh, why is cantaloupe available right now? You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but I'm just saying, do a little homework, okay? And have a list. But usually in the summer months, we like to focus on fruits with pits, just like the apricots and the plums, et cetera, et cetera. And strengthen your core, like literally your body, okay? Pilates, weight training, okay? You can do planks at home. I mean, you don't need to pay a gym membership or a trainer for that. but just really focusing on your core, okay, your physical core. Eat regularly, okay? Eat regularly. So the fasting, like the intermittent fasting, you have to be very careful during the peak season, the summer season. You need to consult your doctor to see if it's actually a good idea. And when you're fasting, you're actually messing up with your blood sugar. So if you tend to be a little bit more sensitive, like your pancreas is not operating well and your blood sugar kind of goes up and down, intermittent fasting can actually damage the pancreas. So eating more regularly, smaller portions throughout the day might actually be better. Again, better to talk to your doctor. But avoid sugary foods and over processed ingredients. I always like to tell people it might be a good idea to like order food sensitivity test or an allergy panel from your doctor, just to understand what does my body need right now. Okay, especially if you feel a little bit inflamed, that's because your body is not producing the enzymes to break down, okay, the food that you might be sensitive to. And I usually like to get one done every 2 years because your body changes, okay? Sometimes you're eating too many chickens, okay? And suddenly your body has a sensitivity to chicken. And you think, oh, well, I always eat chicken. I like chicken. You know, chicken seems healthy as long as it's organic. But then you don't know that your body actually is fighting, okay, that particular food. So it's a good investment to find out. Balance your excretion, okay? If you tend to be bloated, you have gas, constipation, again, that can be connected to your diet, but this can also be connected energetically, okay? So I have a lot of clients, for example, like I said, you know, they're doubting themselves, they're not trusting themselves. The next day, the next week, they wake up and they're bloated, okay? Or they have stomach pains, you know, a little bit of ache. They're like, what is that? I didn't do anything bad. I didn't cheat on my food, okay? Because we are energy beings. So a lot of what's happening to us is also our body's way of communicating. And know and speak your truth, okay? Are you being authentic, okay? Are there parts of you that you feel ashamed that you don't tell people, you know? Like some people, they have what they would maybe consider as shameful secrets. You know, maybe they watch porn privately. Maybe they wake up at 2 o'clock and go to the kitchen and eat cupcakes when everybody's asleep. Maybe they have a gambling problem, you know. Maybe they have certain belief systems that they know is not popular. So they hide that, they keep that hidden, okay? So again, this is just kind of pushing you a little bit to ask yourself, are you being authentic, okay? And pay attention to how you're talking to yourself, okay? Particularly if you tend to be like very distrustful of people. Like, oh, I can't ask for help. You can't trust those people. Oh, you can't talk to that people. Oh, no, like this. Or obsessively skeptical. Don't believe anything. You question everything. There's healthy curiosity that invokes learning and wonder. That's actually a good thing. But then there's the obsessively skeptical that's actually toxic, okay? Being unfaithful, okay? I'm not just talking about from a romantic perspective, unfaithful to anything. You're unfaithful to your friends. It's the opposite of loyalty, right? So are you being unfaithful? Are you talking behind someone's back that you're supposed to be loyal to, right? Keeping secrets, all right? And downplaying your value. Know your worth, okay? Oh, I can't charge that. I'm not ready. You know, oh no, I can't do that. I'm not ready. Okay, downplaying your value. I can't contribute to that conversation. What do I know? I just graduated high school. You know, these are things that's self-sabotaging. Okay, so just pay attention to your thoughts. Nobody's gonna know it except you, because you live in your head. Nobody else has access to that. It's good to come back to a consistent spiritual practice. I know that in the holidays, we travel, we're all over the place. We're going to fall out of our routine. Okay. So July, wherever you are, it's good to start to think, okay, now that I've had some breath and some space, how do I need to go back into my routine so that it can be consistent and sustainable for the rest, you know, for at least the end of the year. Okay. it's really good to have that spiritual routine, whether that's meditating for 10 minutes, putting a gratitude list. If you can't do it every day, at least do it like 2-3 times a week, you know, just to have something that's just for you and for your heart. Okay, it's like the private moment between you and your heart. Make time for grounding and earthing. Remember, earth is Mother Nature, mama, okay? So it's good to take off your shoes, maybe stand outside where you have grass in your backyard, right? Just go for a brisk walk. Maybe not here in Arizona right now, somewhere. This is actually just, I should write that, but it's really giving your body access to the negative ions of the earth, okay? So you can be close to the ocean, you know, when there's the waves crashing like this, we feel like there's parts of ourselves that just kind of relax like this, okay? So it's accessing negative ions. You can actually even access that when you're taking a shower, you know, when the water kind of hits your body like that, okay? So we're trying to mimic, well, I don't want you to mimic, I actually want you to literally experience the negative ions. Here's a side note. There's a website called, oh boy, antennasearch.com. I believe that's what it's called, antennasearch.com. I meant to put that. Yes, antennasearch.com. You can put your address in this website and it will search all the towers within a 3-mile radius of your address. And remember what these towers are doing? These are, they're poisoning you, radioactive poisoning, okay? So how we counteract all of this in our environment, particularly in major metropolitan city, actually the zip code 85255 in Scottsdale, which is interesting because those are terrible feng shui numbers, 85255, okay? That's stomach, misfortune, sickness, misfortune, misfortune, okay? Has the worst number of towers, at least in the state of Arizona. I don't know about the rest of the country. It has over 500 towers and like, I don't know, another 1,000 antennas within the 3-mile radius, plus we have the airport. And so you're literally, as you're just going about your day, driving, going to Sprouts, picking up food, and you think you're drinking your juice, being healthy, but actually your environment is killing you, okay, is poisoning you. So how we counteract that is we try to come back to basics. And you can try to do that with grounding and earthing, okay? Kind of being away from the city and reconnecting back to nature. Okay, finally, trust your instincts, okay? We're all intuitive beings. We all know the truth within us. It's just that some of us have more access to it because we've been practicing or we trust our instincts, okay? So just kind of maybe in the next 30 days, if you have some small decisions that you want to make, experiment with it, you know, kind of use your gut. How do you feel? Like asking yourself, how do I feel about that? Instead of trying to be logical about it, right? Or even asking other people, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Now, what do I think? Right? How do I feel if I went to lunch with this person? You know, how do I feel if I said yes to that project? Okay. And once you make that decision, stick to it. Okay. Don't be wishy-washy. All right. And indecisive, because that again is going to damage the stomach. Okay. Moving on, we want to talk about the earth penalty. This is another string of energy that's very, very powerful and very sensitive. We have to always pay attention to penalty. And the reason why penalties are a little bit more serious is because it takes 3 animals to come together to create this energy. Whereas the clash, everybody has clash. Everybody will experience clash one way or another, okay? But not everybody will have penalty, okay? And it's more powerful because it takes more animals, more animal signs to come together. And so here we are coming into the goat month, okay? So that means you have to look at your BaZi chart, okay? You look at your 4 pillars, all right? If you don't have your chart, you need to email me. This is important to have that when you come into these talks. You have to see, do I have an ox sign and a dog sign. Obviously, if you have an ox, that means you have a clash. We already covered that. But if you also have a dog sign, then that means the month of July, you will be influenced by this earth penalty, okay, albeit temporary, okay? So some examples of earth penalty, and earth penalty is never good. It's not like clash where I can say, oh yeah, it can be good, you know, just be good with it, right? Earth penalty, no, okay? Danger means danger. And earth penalty can show up in many ways. It can actually be very detrimental to your health. And remember, this is earth penalty. That means it will invoke earth-related sickness. Earth is what? The stomach, pancreas, when people have diabetes, okay? When people have cancer, because it's also our immune system, people with autoimmune disease, Lyme disease, Hashimoto, any of all of the above of the autoimmune. It's also talking about our muscles, okay? The cells in our body, okay? Free radicals in the body, okay? So here's an example of Jackie O, okay? And we know that she died of cancer, okay? So look at, she was born, this is her 4 pillars. She already had the goat, the dog, and the goat. That means her whole life, she is sensitive to the ox. Because remember, she already has the goat and the dog. That means her whole life, she's just waiting for the ox to show up. And look, when she turned 54 to 64, okay, she entered into 10-year ox luck, 10-year. But what's interesting is that she died when she entered into a new luck, because she was 64 when she passed. So she was no longer in this luck, but she was already sick in this luck. And what year did she die? 1994 was the year of the dog. Okay, so goat, ox, dog. It's always this kind of combination that wreaks havoc. So I have a couple more examples of BaZi charts, okay, but I have many, many examples of diseases, earth-related diseases as a result of this earth penalty string. So for you, okay, if you see yourself, all right, first of all, get your BaZi update, but it's also to say, you know, maybe it's a good time to reassess and take control of my health, because we all are out of balance, okay? When we're born into this world, we all get sick from something one way or another, okay? But I have this information to basically warn me or caution me that I might be leaning towards that kind of illness. So what do I need to do? You know, maybe it's time to hire a nutritionist, you know, maybe it's time to get certain testing done to ease my mind, okay? Whatever that might be, okay? Especially if you have, you know, what do you call this? Like family history, right? I've had clients that have a long family history of cancer, of different kinds of cancer, but cancer nonetheless, okay? It might be time, okay? So we learn this not to panic, but we learn it to empower ourselves, okay? So we can get ahead of it. And also, earth penalty is a lot related to accidents. And these aren't just any kind of accident. This is earth-related accidents, okay? Here's Princess Diana. This is her 4 pillars. She has the ox and the goat, ox and goat. That means her whole life, she's just waiting for the dog, okay, to show up. Lives her life. Then from the age 32 to 42, she enters into the luck of the dog. So you can see that earth penalty string is already there, present from age 32 to 42. But she didn't get cancer. She died in a car accident in the year of the ox, okay, and also in the hour of the ox. There's other things going on in these people's charts, which I'm not going to cover because it's very technical. I just wanted you to see the earth penalty. And how did she die? Her car crashed in the tunnel. Tunnel is in the mountain. Mountain is earth. This is very similar to Kobe Bryant, when the plane or the helicopter crashed into what? It didn't crash in the ocean, it crashed in the mountain, okay? So there's a lot of these kinds of examples of automobile accidents related to Earth, okay? So that's another thing. Obviously, the behavior and the actions of what's going on and also who she is contributes, to what we're doing or what is happening. You remember Jeremy Renner at the beginning of the year, and I've talked about his BaZi before. You see Jeremy Renner has the dog and the ox, right? Dog and ox. That means he's only waiting for the goat. That means July. July is going to be a clash, because the goat and the ox clash. But then the goat month will also activate that earth penalty. Look at the day of his accident when he got mowed over, okay, by the tractor, was on the day of the goat, okay? So again, what kind of accident? Well, it's a gigantic tractor. It wasn't a bicycle or a motorcycle. It was a gigantic, almost like a mountain, crushing him underneath, okay? The good news though, the goat, it's almost like a blessing in disguise. The goat is his nobleman, because he has a yang metal here. He was born in a yang metal year. So the goat is his nobleman. So his goat still managed to save him. A lot of people always ask me, Jen, I have a penalty and also a nobleman. Does it cancel each other out? No. Okay. Elements can do many, many things all at once, but there's no such thing as a canceling out. Okay. It doesn't work like that. It means you will still experience the penalty, but you will be saved. Meaning you will overcome like this. So I'm worried about him when he comes to this luck, because he's not quite 59. But when he turns 59, this is the luck of the goat, 10-year goat luck. Okay, so we will see. Time will tell. Here's another one. We know Malala, right? She was the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner. Look at Malala has the ox and the goat. That means she's only waiting for the dog. So, when she was 15 years old, they tried to kill her. There was an assassination attempt. She was shot in the head. Okay. And that was in the dog month. Actually, this is terrible because this is also the year of the dragon. The dragon, dog, clash, too many things going on. But she was only 15. So this would be during this luck from age 9 to 19. You don't know this, but this is the monkey luck. Monkey is her nobleman. You see, she had a penalty for 1 month, enough to take her down like that. But the nobleman is there. Nobleman come through. But I'm worried about her when she turns 29. 29 to 39, because this is the luck of the dog, okay? And the dog is not a nobleman, okay? Not a nobleman to anybody, okay? And because she is a public figure, she's very aggressive. She pisses a lot of people off. She puts herself in danger. So that's the action. It's very different than if it's just and I'm not downplaying PTA moms, and I'm just saying PTA moms versus a very controversial public figure, right? When people want to actually kill you, right? So the PTA mom, she may just have enemies, okay? Because penalty also means enemies. You wake up all your enemies. So I want to take you down, okay? Who has this is Donald Trump. His BaZi chart also has the penalty. So also wakes up a lot of people who don't like you, and they're a lot more vocal, okay? 2018 was the year of the dog, was Donald Trump's penalty year. And that was when the impeachment, you see, take you down, okay? So when you have penalty, these are just examples. Health, my mobility, like how am I moving in this world, right? How are my relationships? Am I putting myself in danger, making all the wrong choices? Am I reckless and irresponsible in how I'm handling my finances, my business dealings, all these things? So these are just some things you want to reflect on, and maybe it's time to make some adjustments. Okay, so penalty is not good. Okay, this is this actor. I don't know if you follow him or know of him, Julian Sands, but he was hiking in California who went missing. Okay, the day that he went missing was on Ox Month and Goat Day. We don't know what time he was missing. We also don't know what time he was born, you know, because we don't know if this is a dog hour, right? So dog, that means the ox and the goat will create that penalty, okay? So sometimes when we have missing information, it's really tough to tell, but it's very telling that he didn't just go missing like he drowned or he was missing in the ocean. He was missing in the mountain. You see, earth, penalty, earth, okay? All right, now that I've scared you permanently, because it's what I do, just a reminder that we have a new and fun, interactive, hands-on workshop in September. It's a 4-hour workshop, lunch will be provided. And this is basically you really working out your chart and understanding how clash, penalty, nobleman, and peach blossom, like these 4 important stars. We only focus on these 4 because they are dynamic. You know, they show up, they go away, they impact, you know, all the things. And you really getting to work it out. We will go back to your past. We will do some meditation. We will do some journal prompts, kind of taking you back in time to walk the steps of your life in order for you to set up, kind of set up your future, all right, with BaZi as the tool, okay? And you will get a list of your days, okay, your auspicious days for the rest of the year, and you can work it out. But this will only be held in person because it is intimate. We will be required to talk very openly about our experiences. So I do encourage you, if you are here, to participate. And then registration for the BaZi course will be open probably, yeah, August 1st. Okay, so think about it. If you want to commit, it's still tentatively scheduled for January, only if I have enough people signed up. For those who have taken the BaZi class in the past, you can still participate for a reduced rate, but it does require a commitment because we do break it down into different sessions for the month of January. Okay, let's talk about Feng Shui. Today's talk is a little bit longer, but I wanted to show this Feng Shui chart of a client / student of mine because she has an A- house. This is very special. Do you know how hard it is to get an A- house? I don't even have an A- house, okay? But this is the essence, the Feng Shui essence of this property. It's so good. All of the numbers in circle, you can see the green, they are the prosperous numbers. All the prosperous numbers are located in the best position. You see 9 is the prosperity, which is, this is the facade of the house. The front door, actually the front door is over here. The drawing is not quite correct. It's in this front bedroom that's an office. It's a working office. It's in the family room, okay, prosperity. The second prosperity is in the back, which is the garage, which the family uses as a secondary entrance. So it's very active, okay, because they come in and out and in and out. So the action of coming in and out and in and out is energizing and stimulating that good energy, okay? And also the 1, which is also a prosperous number, happens to be in an area that is frequently used by the family. There's a husband, wife, and 2 children. And they actually have 2 floors, okay? So I didn't put the whole chart here, but I just wanted to show you. In the month of June, if you recall from last month's talk, we said that the monthly stars are going to duplicate, right? And look at, in the month of June for this house, 991188. You see, they all match. So this is the one rare occasion where this property can actually activate the monthly stars. Remember, every month we always talk about curing. We cure, because we want to be very careful not to inadvertently activate something and then make it worse. This house actually 100% they could have activated it in June. Okay, so I like this configuration. Some houses are just built this way. Okay, very, very good. All right, so this month, where do we want to pay attention to? 5, our enemy misfortune is going to be in the west. Okay, so figure out what's in the west of your house and put the 6 metal rod wind chime. Hopefully you have one of those portable ones that I've been sharing. Sickness is going to move to the southeast corner. Okay, so make sure you move your 6 metal coins to the southeast sector of your home. Okay, and look at, there's one occasion where the prosperous numbers are in the southwest and in the north. But again, unless you know your feng shui, you can activate it. Okay, but these are very strong energy pairings for the month of July. If the feng shui of your house or your home office is good to begin with, in the southwest and in the north, that means you can put water feature, okay, to activate this monthly star. But I want you to be very cautious though before you do that. Make sure you already know it. If you can, have it evaluated and reviewed, okay, before you do anything. Okay, so here's that wind chime again that you can, that I approve, okay, has a stand because you can move it around your house, okay, and hide it. In November, we will have a one-time event where we're going to be talking about the new period that's going to affect the feng shui of our house starting in 2024. This is a very, very big deal, but I'm just sharing that now. So something to think about. It will be offered in person and on Zoom. Okay. Also looking ahead, we're offering again our in-person feng shui class in Scottsdale in May. All right, so plan ahead. And I will see you in August, okay, for the monkey talk. All right. And then also schedule your BaZi. It's time to do your update for the second half of 2023. Or also if you want to purchase gift certificates to share with friends and loved ones, that's also available. And that is all I have, folks. I did it in 1 hour. Wow. If you have any questions, I'll stay on for the next 5 minutes. Thank you. Oh.
Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome. Thanks, Melissa. Mary. Miss Christine. Oh, my hand. Bye, everybody.